Now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk Hookup. Get ready for more of the best fishing information and the hottest tips on improving your angling skills. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here. Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And by Rancho Leonero, where your wildest Baja dreams come true. And now, Southern California's sports fishing voice, the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray and Rock Cod Rick Maxa.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Let's Talk Hookup here on the Mighty 1090. As we said, Pete Gray en route to Panama. We're looking forward to hearing from that next week. Going to be an awesome trip. Our cast tours, Let's Talk Hookup, Pesca Panama adventure going to be a fantastic time. Can't wait to hear about that. And boy, we can't wait to have another hour here at Let's Talk Hookup with the man, Captain Tim Ekstrom from the Royal Star. We're talking all things fishing, talking Royal Star, fisherman's processing, and having a lot of fun doing it. And as always, the show doesn't work without you. We want to hear from you this morning. It certainly has been a busy morning, but a perfect opportunity. We had a couple of calls drop during the break. So the first time we've had an open phone line all show long. And we've got them on both. The local line, 858 area code 457-1090. One of those open again, 858-457-1090. Or you can call us toll free, 877-792-1090. Again, 877-792-1090. Not only talking fishing and talking fun, we are also giving away a fantastic prize. One lucky caller at the end of the show today is going to win a brand new pair of Maui Jim sunglasses. It's the Surf Riders. Really nice pair of glasses from Maui Jim. It has the black and blue frame with a neutral gray lens, and we want to thank Maui Jim for that awesome pair of glasses for one lucky caller at the end of the show today. And with that, it's time to find out what's biting out there. It's time for the Catch Report, which today is sponsored by the Sato Crimp and Winder Company, where they only make products that work. If you want to end your connection failures, you need to get the Sato Crimp Kit. It's a must-have piece of gear for everything you catch, from school-size tuna to record-size tuna. With all brass crimps and other features, it's better than ever. It's the favorite connection method on the Royal Star, the Royal Polaris, the American Angler, and most of the other top boats. And if you haven't already, you should make it your preferred connection from Spectra to Mono or Spectra to Fluorocarbon. You can get it at selected tackle stores like Fisherman's Landing Tackle or at SatoCrimpandWinder.com. And real quick, Tim, I know we read that spot a lot when we talk about Sato Crimp and say that it's the favorite connection method for big fish on the Royal Star. Does that still remain true? I mean, you guys still a big believer in the Sato Crimp system?
Tried and true.
Yeah.
It's been proven over, there's an awful lot of success stories, fish on the deck that were caught on the Sato Crimp system. And I like how seamless it is when it goes through the guides. Obviously, it has to be done correctly.
Sure.
But I'll tell you what, it seems to me, there was a period maybe, in the beginning, which goes back, 6, 8, 10 years ago, where because of the difference in some of the line diameters, some of the crimps, I know we had a few of them pull out over the years, but it seems like that's happened a heck of a lot less now. It seems like the diameters are more consistent now with the crimps. It's a learning curve, obviously, but now that we've got it down, I love it.
Gary evolves that system so well, too, and you nailed it. We as fishermen, and that's how we were always talked about, is 100-pound, 80-pound, 130-pound, fit, whatever, that's just the number that you have. Well, 100-pound from one manufacturer or another can be completely different things, and Gary's done such a good job adapting to diameter size.
That's exactly right.
This is the crimp diameter that you want with this size
for
line.
This brand, this size, that's right.
Pretty darn cool. Well, hey, it's time to find out what's biting out there. It's time for that Catch Report. We're going to start it off with our private boater buddy, our man, the FishDope.com reporter, Captain Mark Wish of Pacific Edge, is on the line. What's up, Mark?
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, Tim. Well, guys, there's always this challenge around April Fool's Day to sort out the rumors from the real deal, the wheat from the chaff, so to speak. No shortage of rumors this year, like always. So don't be running on reports of big squid floats or wide open sea bass or anything like that. That's not happening, to the best of my knowledge anyway. But what is happening is some very good offshore signal on the elusive bluefin tuna. Those guys, what a nice surprise here. Those been fish seen all winter long, jumping around here and there, not biting, but that changed rapidly last Saturday while I was actually doing this report. The Top Gun, I think it was Top Gun 80, got on those bluefin on the 60-mile bank. They wound up with limits of fish up to the mid-20s, and then some more were caught Easter Sunday, including one that was speared. It was like a 60-pounder. And then the wind blew for 3 days. The weather on the outside was very rude, no coverage at all. And then Thursday, the Pacific Queen got back on it, and guess what, guys? They were still biting. They had limits, as did some of the boats yesterday. And that's just fantastic. You know, that's 15 to 25, maybe 30-pound fish, and along with some bigger models that caused some grief for guys that weren't quite ready for it. So, and a decent amount of fish, not huge schools, but, you know, enough to get started with. But along with that stuff on the outside, there's some good signal a little bit closer to the beach, both Thursday afternoon and Friday afternoon. Spots of breaking fish were up on the upper end of the 9 Mile bank. There, a sprinkle on the ridge, some seen southwest of Oceanside. And then the latest news, and I wasn't going to go with this when I got this yesterday afternoon, you know, because it was April 1st, but Danny called me just a little bit ago with kind of the update from Dana Wharf that Helena was out yesterday afternoon, 10 off of Dana, and got on a big spot of breaking fish, and they got a couple of nice ones out of it there. You can see the pictures on their Facebook page there. It looks like 50-pounders, both bait fish, same deal, just a big spot of breaking fish like they've been seeing down below there. So like a lot of April 1st reports, you know, I got a touch of apprehension, but I think this one feels good, and it just checks with what the other guys were seeing down below there. So bodes very well for our season, guys. Get your gear tuned up. Get that heavy gear tuned up. If you guys remember what happened just a month from now last year, a lot of guys got absolutely wrecked if that bigger fish shows up, which it certainly looks like it's going to, as everything's going like last year. Those 100 to 200 pounders show up, start tearing up tackle, man. There'll be a lot of heartbreak stories like last year, and it looks like the stage is set. So I'd have to say, with nice weather and all this fish around, guys, it's time to go fishing.
Boy, no doubt about that, Mark. Certainly good fishing going on. And, you know, we always say that it's, you know, that's the, you provide so much information here over the weekends and obviously provide similar information to Danny and all the boys over at Fish Dope. And what a time to have Fish Dope so you can sort out the BS from the not. And if you're dying to go catch an early season bluefin for $160, you can jump on the web 365 days a year and find out exactly where you need to go, sort through it. And, you know, in the early season times when there's not a big fleet of boats and a big network of people, you've got your own network right there. You can find out exactly where to go and save yourself a whole bunch of time and a whole bunch of fuel. And if you use the code Hookup Now, all lowercase, no space, Hookup Now, you're going to save yourself $20 on a new subscription to Fish Dope. And Mark, can't begin to thank you enough for everything. And I know one thing about those bluefins is it never hurts to have plenty of extra live bait on board to make those things go. And we sure are stoked that we've got one of your tanks jugged with bait on the new Parker.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Now, have you got your sample yet? Did you start it off with surface iron fish on the 9 last year or something?
You know, for 2 years in a row now, we got a pretty cool thing. 2 years, the exact same day on April Fool's Day, we had surface iron bluefins on the 9 Mile bank. So we had them last year, and we got lucky enough to get them again yesterday. So pretty darn cool way to start the season.
Oh, that's what this text is that just came in. Holy crap.
Yeah, pretty fun fishing, and sure is nice to know that you got plenty of bullets to throw at them, because there's no replacement for having plenty of live bait for any type of fishing that we do offshore, and we sure love our tank, Mark.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it, man. I'm glad you're wearing that thing out.
That's the plan.
You got anything else on the boat yet?
Nothing yet. We got electronics now, so now we can see where we're going and what we're doing.
That's good. Okay.
Thanks, Mark. We appreciate the report. If somebody wants to get some more info, get the great tanks, get everything you guys do at Pacific Edge, how do we do that?
We're on the corner of Bolsa Chica and Edinger. Phone number 714-840-4262. The website's PacificEdgeTackle.com. And I got to blow your picture up here and take a look at this a little bit better.
Mark, we
nice going, buddy. We'll see you.
Appreciate the report, as always. Look forward to talking next week. Let's head on down to C4 Sport Fishing, find out what's going on with Marcos is on the line. What's up, Marcos?
Good morning, guys. How you doing today?
We're doing great.
Good.
Morning.
Well, fishing is definitely going the right direction this week.
Awesome.
Starting with the half day, very good amount of rockfish, reds, whitefish, sculpin, lingcod, very good fishing on there. The San Diego yesterday, they had 14 yellowtail, a bunch of rockfish, but actually today they're going to go look offshore a little bit there, look for some bluefin. And that's because the Aztec yesterday, among other boats, they were fishing offshore on a day and a half. 15 anglers got their limit of bluefin at 30 bluefin.
So
definitely
cool.
a good sign, and those fish were in the 25 to 30 pound range there. So nice size to start there. And from a report we got, a little bit lighter line, maybe some fluorocarbon would be a good idea. So lots of good fishing all around there. I mean, it was a great end of the week there. Had a little bit of weather early in the week, but, you know, I'm going to tell a little story. I went to Fisherman's Landing earlier in the week. I went down there to visit. I was slumming it.
Slumming.
And I was helping them set up their visas, get that system flowing there, make it a little easier for them. Of course, as soon as we get that set up, they're fishing offshore looking for bluefin there, and you don't even need the visas. So I'm going to take some credit for all this fight that's happening now. I don't do that often, but I'm going to take some credit for it.
I'd say credit deserved for sure. I mean, what else could have made that happen than Marco's putting all that effort into the local, fishing the coast visa system? Yeah, thanks for getting us going, Marcos. Great job.
Absolutely, and maybe next year you guys will get to use it. Although I got to say, Fisherman's a little classier than I expected. There was C4 stickers all over the tackle shop just sitting there. I don't know how they got there.
Yeah, you were pretty sly, my friend.
Pretty sly indeed. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, certainly, and like we said, we talked about it last week when Captain Ryan Boston was on there. It's amazing how fast the process has been and how easy it has become to fish in Mexico. Obviously, there is an FMM that's required, and I think a lot of people don't even realize that when you're going three-quarter day fishing, you get the same FMM that a guy on a private boat does, done the same way. You guys are just that fast at being able to take passport information, get all the correct paperwork done for, the Mexican Immigration Office, and boom, you're on the boat. Just like we say, seamless. Make sure you have your passport card or your passport when you come in to book a trip. And, Marcos, you and the entire team there at Seaforth, and fortunately now at Fisherman's Landing, too, coming on, it's just it's amazing how fast and easy and effortlessly you guys get the process done to get all the paperwork in order to go fishing in Mexico, at least on the beach.
Absolutely, yeah. It's definitely streamlined a bit there. And then, like we talked about last show, that they are certainly making it easier for us to get those visas and get the permits and everything out there. But like you're saying, though, the San Diego, yes, they're fishing outside. They're looking for bluefin, but they are still fishing within that 12-mile range, and that's kind of where that cutoff is. So if you're going to go three-quarter day, you still need your passport. Like we talked about for a while here, even if you don't plan on fishing islands there, it's a good idea to get your passport. We're not always going to have this great offshore, easy fishing there, and sometimes you're going to fish in the coast there. Passports are good for 10 years. Definitely get one, and they'll give you lots more options at certain times of the year, like right now. So good fishing all around. But before we get too excited, the downside to all this, the Eclipse went out last night looking for bluefin. Number one on the sign-in sheet, Bob Fletcher.
Oof, they got their work cut out for them.
Yeah,
they got their work cut out.
Might be a short season, and then maybe we won't need the visas when we're back fishing rockfish at the island. So hopefully not. He's been doing better lately, but that's just be aware. It might not be as great a report next week.
Well, at least we'll know what to blame it on if we have a down day.
Absolutely. In the meantime, check the website, seaforthlanding.com. We have a couple trips going out tonight. The Aztec's going back out on a day and a half. The Outer Limits is running on one day if you can't take that Monday off from work. San Diego's online for those three-quarter day trips, and hopefully they get into some of that bluefin there. Of course, we have the half-day trips. We have twilight trips online. Our first official trip would have been yesterday if we had gotten enough people. But definitely, if you're looking for that, Fridays and Saturdays right now, we're going to – usually takes a couple weeks to get those going, but we've got those online if you want to do a little later trip there. So check the website, seaforthlanding.com. You can give us a call at the office, 619-224-3383. And, if you want to come down, visit us, get a Seaforth sticker, you can either visit us here or at Fisherman's Landing.
Marcos, great report as always. Lots of fun. Good fishing. I think we're in for it, man. I think the season has started. Appreciate you always keeping us up to date with all the great info. We'll look forward to talking to you next week.
Talk to you then, guys.
Thanks, Marcos. All right, let's head our Northern Baja report with the man, Rick Jensen from Sport Fishing Financial. Rick, good morning.
Good morning, Rick.
Hey, anxious to hear. How's the bite in the Baja?
Well, it's coming along, but first, Tim, I'd like to say great to hear you talking so much about how the world's greatest fishing fleet continues to improve from maintenance to plate-ready foods, and the value and care that you put into the fish, and the evolution of that is just top-notch and something that's going to be great for the fishery going forward.
No question about it. It's pretty remarkable to see. We still have anglers who they haven't fished with us since, they'll come from their kids are through college now or whatever. They come back, 15 years later, and they're just blown away by the evolution of this fishery, in particular in the last 15 years. It's just remarkable. You wouldn't even recognize it, and all for the better.
That's pretty cool. I could see that for sure. Like you say, guy, family, whatever, priorities change, work change. Now, whatever it may be, retired or more discretionary dollars, and time to get back into it. Like, if you did that time warp from 15 to 20 years ago, it's an entirely different entity.
It is. It's mind-blowing.
That's cool. So, Rick, what's going on with the bite?
Well, if guys want to head south, clear down at Mag Bay, the whales are gone, but the medium-sized yellowfin tuna from 30 to 65 pounds are showing 30 to 35 miles off. In Mulegé, the fishing was on a steady upswing. tapered off a little bit. Yellowtail are starting to head back down deeper and in the deeper water. But the inside the bay, there's still some white sea bass, a couple showing, some cabria, corvina, small cabria, nothing really big or exciting there. So what looked like it was really off and running is tapering a little bit there. In the La Volcana and Asociación region, we're still starting to see a lot of wind there and weather, so not a lot of reports there. Bay of LA, the weather's been nice, been a lot of good days without wind, yellowtail, grouper, inside, nothing really reported outside yet. San Quintin, lots of wind has passed through. The smaller yellowtail started to come to the surface, and they're starting to hit the trolled rapalas and the surface baits. But the calico continue to show a little bit at San Martin. But this time of year, again, there, the water tends to roll a little bit. Not a whole lot of excitement going on there. Rockfish, yellowtail continue to show themselves in Ensenada. Occasional bigger yellow, but some of the smaller stuff there and a little bit slow. But the bigger news there is, like everybody's talking about, the bluefin inside the bay. Someone hooked up and pulled into a big boil inside and pulled out a 50-pound bluefin tuna from that area. So I guess they're spread out from Dana Point on down. So sounds like it's a great time to get out fishing, and whether it's here, there, or anywhere you can go, get out there. It's April, huh?
The time is now, and they are biting. A good start to the season already. There's yellows down there, and you know, I mean, what a fun spot to go. Tim, I know you're a big Baja guy. I mean, it's good fishing, it's good fun, it's good culture experience. Just the whole thing is rad. You know, all that northern Baja, great place to visit, quick, easy, safe. It's awesome.
Anytime you get off the beaten path there, you're as like safe as in your mother's arms. The nicest people in the world.
Yeah.
And I am, and that's my fondest memories of vacations when I was a kid was going down there with my dad and my brother, and you know, we had a little trailer boat, and it was just phenomenal. And that's carried all the way through. I've done the same thing with my kids, and unfortunately not in the last couple of years, but prior to that, it was an every year thing.
All these spots that, you know, that Rick's talking about, all those northern Baja camp fish areas. I mean, it's just such a cool experience. And northern Baja has so many easy to access spots. You know, long weekend, you're in a whole different place and a different mindset, and pretty darn cool.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's cool. Rick, great report as always. We appreciate you keeping us up to date. And you know, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, Sport Fishing Financial, all the great stuff you got going on, how do we do that?
On the website, sportfishingfinancial.com, or on the telephone line, 949-481-1807.
All right, great report, Rick. We appreciate that. We'll look forward to talking to you next Saturday.
Okay, take care, guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Rick. That's going to wrap up our Catch Report today, sponsored by Gamakatsu Hooks, Japan's leading fish hook that sets the standard for quality and innovation, strength and durability. The long-range season is going on right now, and the Gamakatsu Super Nautilus hook is the top angler's first choice in fishing for giant tuna and other pelagic species. It has the right design and durability to help you catch your fish of a lifetime. Get the Gamakatsu Super Nautilus hook at your favorite tackle store. And when we come back, we got packed up phone calls, and we're taking them all. You stay tuned. Lots of Let's Talk Hookup coming your way on the mighty 1090.
Fishin' is the mission when Fastlane Kayaks presents Fishin' Mission 2016. During April and May, you can take part in a guided kayak fishing trip with a professional guide and a top-of-the-line, fully outfitted Hobie Mirage Drive kayak. And kids are welcome, too. That's right, a 5-hour, fully guided kayak fishing trip on Mission Bay, including use of a Hobie kayak, fishing gear, and more. Spots are going fast, so you need to get on the kayak now. It's Fishin' Mission with Fastlane Kayaks in Mission Bay. Call 619-222-0766 or check FastlaneSailing.com. It's a fact. The right jig can outfish live bait, especially when you're using the new Live Deception jigs from Ahi USA. They use real images of bait fish printed directly onto the jig, and Live Deception jigs have near bulletproof wire-through rigging, 3X must-add treble hooks, and solid welded ring. Live Deception jigs hook up and hold up. Available now at all fine tackle shops. No matter the fishing conditions, count on the Seagar family of fluorocarbon leader material to help you catch more fish. Fluoro Premier has a smaller diameter with the highest break strength. Plus, it is super soft. When bites are tough, tie on Fluoro Premier. Blue Label is tough as nails with incredible abrasion resistance and impact strength. And new Pink Label is the choice for tough light conditions, giving you a little more visibility for better line control. Pick up a spool of Seagar at your favorite tackle dealer or visit Seagar.com.
Hi, this is is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing. Are you aware that Fisherman's Landing has the finest charter boat fleet on the West Coast? We have charter boats from 50 to 85 feet in length and can accommodate charter groups from 8 to over 50 passengers. If you are planning to book a charter this year, I wouldn't wait too long. With the outstanding fishing that we've had the past 2 seasons, prime fishing dates for 2016 are already disappearing. If you have never booked a charter before, all you have to do is contact a few fishing buddies, pick a date, and call the landing. Our office crew will make booking your charter a breeze. If your group is from 8 to 14 anglers, the Bluefin, Pacific Quest, or Maximus would be perfect. If you have 15 to 35 fishermen, check out the Pacific Dawn, Fortune, Commander, Islander, or the Pegasus. You can also charter our open party boats, Dolphin, Prowler, Condor, and Pacific Queen. Don't allow your prime fishing date to slip away. Charter one of Fisherman's Landing's premier boats for a spring yellowtail trip or a summer or fall offshore tuna trip. You will be happy you did. You can find us at www.fishermanslanding.com or call us at 619-221-8500 to book your fishing charter.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090. Hey, phone lines are absolutely packed. We're having lots of fun talking phone calls, and we heard Doug Kern talking about Fisherman's Landing and all the great stuff coming up, and mentioned a little bit, but the new Liberty is really coming along, Tim. And I went down, saw Taro after work the other day, and I was blown away. I mean, obviously those guys are working really hard, but I saw the boat when it first got tied up before all the projects got started, and I just went down to say hi to Taro and the boys yesterday and was just shocked at how far and how much work that you guys are doing to that beautiful 3/4 day boat that's going to be coming to Fisherman's Landing.
It's a complete renovation.
Man, it's
crazy.
crazy.
It's just making a new boat out of it. And adding all that new galley space. Is that thing going to be sweet? It's the heads in the back, the showers, the bunk room, the whole galley space, and adding a fish hole to it, so everything's going to be in premium RSW condition. As far as a fishing platform, oh my gosh, you got a huge bait tank back there, the huge back deck. That thing is just, it's going to be a fish machine. And no question about it.
And you said something at the beginning of the show, and it's so true, is, about how your boat is better today than it was when it was first built because of all of the things you've learned over the years about what makes it better. And here's a 3/4 day boat that has, Captain Taro and yourself and Doug and Frank and all of these people with all this experience, getting to start not from scratch because obviously it's rebuild, but, hey, we're going to make this big because this provides more comfort. We found that over the years. Or we're going to move this over here. And, you're getting to basically build the perfect sport fishing platform.
Yeah, and what we didn't need to improve upon, obviously we didn't have to, but we've made huge improvements as far as the creature comforts go. Mechanically, the boat was in great condition as far as all the main engine's generator and the equipment on it. But we're going to improve upon that again by adding a refrigeration system. that thing is just going to be a fish machine, which, you and I talked about earlier. That's what it's about, man. Yeah. It's nice to go out there on a nice platform, but, when it comes down to it, we want to be going out there and catching fish. We want to be getting them. And no better guy to oversee that and make that happen than Taro, of course. He's just a phenomenal guy, phenomenal fisherman. And, he's developed, his reputation is well deserved. He's just a top tier A quality individual and fisherman. So between him and the crew we're putting together and the improvements that are being made to that boat, that thing's going to be a Cadillac. It is. I
think it's so cool that there's going to be a 3/4 day boat with use of the sleeping berth down below, and obviously that whole thing is redone and beautiful. And you put yourself, I live, fairly close to the landing, so, I take myself out of the shoes. You don't think about a guy that's, the fishing that's offered 3/4 day out of San Diego, it's phenomenal. And so guys coming down from Orange County and LA, you woke up extra early to be able to sign in and then go rack out for an hour or two when you're on your way down to wherever the fishing grounds are at, just so you're fresh. And the same thing coming home, coming home from the pile, it's a long run to be able to grab an hour of sleep before you make your drive back home again. That's awesome. Big time. It's a 3/4 day. You just don't get that opportunity.
Right. Just to be able to kick your boots off and get off your feet for a little bit. Just go horizontal. Like we say, kick it over on the 1 fathom spot for an hour. It's just going to add it's going to add another layer, another element of comfort, of convenience. But, again, I want to go back to that fishing part of it.
That's the most important part, let's face it.
I can't wait to get out of the boat and go fishing. I'm telling you now, I am so fired up to have a solid 3/4 day boat, a fishing operation there at the landing that's going to be out on the water every day, getting in on all that incredible fishing that's to be had down the line. You know, the sonar fishing, the yellowtail, or the sonar ball fishing on the islands down the coast. You know, whether it be rock fishing in the spring, or you know, if that's available, bluefin now offshore, incorporating the whole thing offshore in the summertime. Just the list just goes on and on. But to have a boat that's going to be out there on the water fishing every day with fishermen as captain and crew.
Can't beat that, man.
Yes, sir.
I'm fired up.
I am too.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Hey, let's talk to Michelle Bowman, who's calling us this morning from the Port of San Diego. Good morning.
Hi, Rick. How are you?
Michelle, we're doing great. It's great to hear from you.
Fantastic. Thanks for having me on. I'm thinking I need to book a trip on that boat.
Right? Yeah, the new Liberty's going to be exciting.
Fishing and take a nap. That's awesome.
You got it.
Well, I called in because I'm promoting an event that the Port of San Diego is holding next Saturday, April 9th, down at Driscoll Boat Works on Shelter Island Drive. We're having the Clean and Green Boating Expo, and it's an event that the port is having to promote the use of green products, environmentally friendly products, and we have some speakers that are going to talk about how to clean and use your boat in a more sort of environmentally friendly way. There's going to be some stuff for kids, face painting, and touch tank from Pete Helme from the Tuna Harbor Dockside Market. It's going to bring some animals in so the kids and adults can see them, although I don't think there's going to be any tasters. I think they're all going to be alive. So, just for checking out and touching. But it's going to be a great event. The port has been promoting, encouraging boaters to reduce the use of copper paints in San Diego Bay, and so this is sort of an extension of that to tell boaters and actually all of San Diego how to be more environmentally friendly boaters.
Certainly an important thing for us all to follow, and a great opportunity, and sounds like a fun day for sure. So give us the information. How do we find it? Where do we go? What do we do? It sounds like a fun day, Michelle.
It's going to be next Saturday, April 9th, from 10 o'clock to 2 in the afternoon down at Driscoll Boat Works down at Shelter Island. And there's going to be free parking and a nice coffee cart. Get a coffee drink if you get there early, and also some snack food, as well as all the other fun stuff that's going on.
Certainly sounds like a fun day and a cool way to spend a weekend and bring the kids and have a good time.
Definitely. And if people need more information, they can check out the Port of San Diego's website, just www.portofsandiego.org.
Awesome.
O-R-G.
Great job, Michelle. We appreciate that. Thanks for the info, and it sounds like a fun day. I hope it goes off well. We'll look forward to seeing you down there.
Definitely. It'll be a lot of fun, especially with this awesome weather.
You got that right. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks for keeping us up to date. Take care. All right. Bye-bye. All right. How about we jump into the phones? Matt in La Mesa. You're up next. Matt, good morning.
Wow, is it October 1st? Can I go fishing yet, Tim? Man, I got to wait 6 months for this stuff? Holy cow.
Yeah, and to think it's going to get even better.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
April.
Man, I was just calling to ask you about the fisheries on the long trips. I know you guys take a break from them usually June through early October, but in your assessment of them over the years, how do you see the future for those fish down there? Because it just truly amazes me year after year that those fish are there, maybe not as consistent as they are on every trip, but they always seem to be there. What holds them there? You know, what keeps them there?
Well, I mean, it's part of their natural range. I think overall, as far as the population of yellowfin in the Eastern Pacific, it's certainly strong and healthy enough to sustain our style of sport fishing. You know, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning, you know, about the sustainability. One of the other beauties of our fishery is, relative to the resource, it really doesn't take that much. You know what I mean? Like take a group of 18 anglers out on a trip, and you know, when you're talking about the long trips, I'm assuming we're talking about the buffer zone around the Rivias, Hurricane Bank, you know, whether it be down coastal Baja, though that fishery's been on a down cycle the last few years, it plays big into our big tuna trips. But it doesn't take that much. Yeah. It really doesn't. 18 anglers out there. If you go out and catch 100 big tuna, you know, basically 5 apiece, a few more than 5 apiece, that translates into a really successful trip.
You're tired.
You're tired, and easily 100 fish, which again, you're talking 5, 6 apiece. I mean, we've been on a lot of trips where the boat won't even hold 100 fish because, you know, the average size of the fish is so big that it takes up all the hold space. So fortunately for us, it doesn't really take that much fish to translate into a successful sport fishing venture. And again, playing into the whole sustainability thing, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a really good thing.
Right.
And I think, again, the population is certainly it's certainly healthy enough to translate into good, consistent fishing for us. As far as why they're down there, that's where they live. I think that there's a significant amount of tuna, yellowfin tuna in particular, that frequent that zone, all around the Revilla-Caquedo Island chain out to Hurricane Bank. They they move in and out away from the islands on whatever feed, whether it it's a combination of factors: moon cycle, feed availability, current tide, whatever. But I think it's safe to say that there's always yellowfin tuna available in that area. It's just a matter of how the timing of your trip translates to wherever it's at in the cycle. But that's the factory down there. They're there all the time in those latitudes. So I've talked about it many a time, both here in the show and also a lot of conversations that I've had in the bridge with anglers over the years. It just blows my mind, Ricky, is the consistency of production on those trips. I mean, it kind of goes back to that maintenance thing, and how common it is for us to pull off successful trips, from the mechanical standpoint, but from a fishing standpoint, just think of how many long-range trips are out on the water and for how many years and how many times that we return with trips that are wildly successful, even marginally successful. I mean, it's a rare thing to have a trip that bombs out. I mean, it's really rare.
Yeah.
I can count the number of trips that we've just struggled from beginning to end on one hand in the past 5 years.
That's going every single day.
That's right. Yeah, the boat's on the water, 300 some odd days a year. And you just think of how many times we're successful, and it's due to, incredible local knowledge, of course. There's a lot of experience out on the water, but networking, the information that we share between the boats, and just the fact that the populations of fish, yellowfin tuna, yellowtail, wahoo, dorado, all the big major pelagics, the populations are healthy, and our form of fishing is obviously sustainable relative to the biomass. So it's to me it's encouraging.
Yeah.
It's just one more argument, if you will, in support of long-range fishing. Just it's a reason to get out there and enjoy the fruit of the ocean, because our fishery is ideally suited to take advantage of it.
No doubt about that. Matt, I know you do a voyage on the Royal Star every year, because we always look forward to seeing you in the tackle store and you getting ready. You ready for again this October?
Absolutely. Larry Brown is one of the finest charter masters out there. The loyalty of his sponsors is unmatched. And this one's going to be a little bittersweet this year. We lost a guy over the winter, J.C. Hardiman, and I've been getting together with Tracy, and we're going to do a memorial T-shirt for that trip, albeit I've only been on it 3 times, but he made such an impact on me that I figured we had to do something. So Larry's on board with it 110% and let me take the lead on it, and Tracy's on board, and we got the printer working on it right now. So I've seen the picture that we're going to use, so I think it's going to be a premium finished product. That's
cool, Matt. Well, certainly a lot of fun and a great group of guys to go fishing with, and that's what makes so many of those trips is the camaraderie of all the buddies. And sometimes it's guys you only see once a year, go on the same trip, and you develop fishing time and hours spent on the water with people that enjoy the same things you do. That's yet another element of what makes those, any trip, be it long or short, so much fun.
I've seen a lot of special bonds formed, lasting bonds over the years. Anglers meet one another on the boat, and that leads to lifelong friendships, and both on the boat and off the water. So it's a cool thing. You go out there with like-minded individuals. We're all out there for the same thing, to have a good vacation, catch a few fish. Pretty, where can you go and
yeah, totally.
And do that with any kind of consistency.
Matt, appreciate the phone call very much. Thanks for that, and I'm sure you look forward to your trip in October. Tom in San Diego, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Hi, Tom.
Well, good morning, gentlemen. Question is along the lines of, let's say you've caught a 50, 70-pound bluefin or yellowfin, whatever, and you're going on your first long-range trip, and all of a sudden you hook up with that fish that's twice as big or more. What are some of the things you might review for people when they're first tugging on that big one?
Well, I can tell you, any battle with a really big tuna, let's say something in excess of 200 pounds, is won with great coaching and great assistance from an experienced crew. And that's just hands down. And it's something that, I've had a lot of conversations with anglers over the years about, they may express trepidation about tying into a big fish. You look at the old pictures of the guy, on his knees and hands and knees at deck just dying, sweat, can't even turn the handle. It's really not like that anymore. I mean, with the advances in the tackle, the 2-speed reel, the gearing in particular, 2-speed reels, the heavier line, the heavier top shots, there's a lot of advantages now that an angler realizes. But number one, foremost, is good coaching from a crew. An experienced crew sets the tone. Number one, you got to slow things down. You hook one of those big ones. It's not the same as a battle with a small fish that's squirrely, that's racing all over the boat. More often than not, once the initial couple of runs are over with, those big fish settle down. And I always tell anglers, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You got to have a very focused approach, and you just have to be calm and methodical. You just set yourself to take an inch of line every time that rod tip gives, every time that fish gives. You never let off on them, maximum pressure, and you just slowly, methodically grind that thing to the surface, never letting up. And again, it's a real credit to good coaching from the crew. Ricky, you can weigh in here. I mean, you've seen a lot of battles also. Anglers who have very little experience, if any at all, catching big fish. And once they get settled in, they got a couple good crew members or a good crew member by their side. It's, I'm not going to say it's easy. You still got to put a lot of effort into it, but it really makes the whole experience kind of calmly successful.
Yeah. It's amazing how good your guys are at it. And I see it every time, both in receiving coaching when you hook one to, watching somebody for the first time. When you're down there and you hook your first 200-pounder, Tom, there is literally the best coach in the world that's standing next to you from start to finish, and it can be as much as, hey man, put your other arm up here, hold the rod like this, or stand back, or, hey, we're going up the rail, let me help you out, or do this, do that. And you wouldn't believe how, someone with little to no experience at all can absolutely, go down and catch their trophy fish, lifetime achievement kind of thing. It's with good gear and the right coach, absolutely everybody that walks on the boat can do it.
I believe it. I've seen it so many times. And again, I'm a real believer in keeping that atmosphere calm. You know what I mean? Like, you don't, when it comes to big fish, the last thing you want to do is get wound up and tense and, oh my God, it's a line. Oh, just everybody calm, everybody cool, and just once again set to grinding that thing in. And 9 out of 10 times now, especially with that gear nowadays, it's incredible. maybe 7 out of 10 times we have a successful outcome. As opposed to 15, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we were still learning or just learning how to do it. It was like you'd land 2 out of 10. Now the averages are so much higher, and it's a credit, again, to all what we've learned over the years, and that translates into success through good coaching and good tackle.
Yeah,
the door is open for anyone.
I will say that the only bit of advice that I've gained over the years from the guys, everybody says the same thing. The one thing I know is when you're pulling on a big one, the most important thing you can do is be comfortable while you're doing it. Because it's so, you can put a bend in the rod from a lot of different ways, and it can be the most comfortable way with just however it is for you, because every person's size and shape is different. So it's less important to say you have to do it like this. Like, you just have to keep, like you said, maximum pressure on the fish and make sure that you're comfortable while you're doing with it, because the biggest, most in shape guy can tighten the back up so much that you can't move in 10 minutes, or somebody with no bodybuilder shape at all can just sit on the back of the rod, keep a bend on it, turn the handle, and take a big one in 15 minutes.
Yeah, I've seen him. Jimmy Lou, he was the best example of that. Back in the day, he's just a little tiny guy, and he just worked those big ones. Just sat back on the rod and just grind it, use it like a lever on the rail. Anyway.
Pretty cool. Go get him, Tom. Appreciate the phone call very much. Thanks a lot for that. Gus in Burbank, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Hi, Gus.
Yo, Ricky. Yo, Captain.
Hey, Gus. Good morning.
Good morning. Been a great show. That's all I can say. You should go out of town more often. No, I'm just kidding.
I know.
I'm just kidding. Anyhow, I wanted to ask, when you get a nice tuna on board, part of the process of preparing it for the holding tank is that you do what's called pithing the spinal cord, and I want to know, why do you do that? What's the reason?
Well, first of all, it knocks the fish down completely. Without going into the gory details, fish land a tuna, and we drive a spike into its head, right down into the core of its brain. It just instantly knocks it out. It's done. And then we remove the spike, and we actually run a piece of heavy wire down the spinal column. We fish it into that hole and run it all the way down the spinal column to the tail. It's called the Taniguchi method. It actually arrests the process of decomposition. The fish stops dumping lactic acid into the muscle tissue surrounding the spinal column, and it doesn't diffuse any further into the tissue. What I've seen more than anything, that has a big effect on the texture of the end product. Is it 100% necessary? I don't know. There's some arguments on both sides, but I know that's how all the premium offshore longline fish is cared for. So, again, we're trying to attain that premium quality, and we follow those guidelines. And I'm sure it translates into a texture thing, no question about it. I know that it's unique to us on Royal Star, following the Taniguchi method, and it's really you can see the difference in the fish. Even when, once you withdraw that spike, the fish is still tense. If you put your hand on the fish, or depress your finger into the side of the fish, 3/4 of the way back, it's still, you can feel those muscles twitching and pulsing. And you run that cord down the spine, and you watch all the fins and the finlets just go dink, 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 all the way back to the tail. You withdraw that spike, or withdraw the cord, and it's done. It's completely relaxed, just exactly how you'd want it to be. The next part of the process, of course, the fish has been bled. We'll clip a gill raker, stick it right behind the pectoral fin, and then once it's bled out, we remove all the innards, clean it out real well, and then immerse it in the refrigerated seawater, maintaining that temperature at 30 Fahrenheit, 31 Fahrenheit, no higher, no lower. That's another key to successful outcome. Maintaining that temp right in that perfect range. And in the end product, of course, Gus, it translates into something that's special, something that's very distinct when it hits the table.
Delicioso.
Indeed.
Gus, great phone call. Appreciate it very much. Thanks a lot for that. Let's talk to Doug, calling us from Montebello's online. What's up, Doug?
Hi, Tim. When you guys take the engines out, what do the old engine when you put the new one back in?
What do we do with them?
Yeah.
The original repower that we took them out, and I know they went somewhere. They went somewhere in Southeast Asia. I think we had a buyer for them. We got a few bucks. It wasn't much, but they're still in service somewhere on the other side of the world. And the second repower, I guess it's a long story. I'll cut it short. The second repower we did on Royal Star didn't work out all that great, so we sent those engines back to the manufacturer to be dissected and.
Put some caps in.
Yeah, that's exactly. We put some Caterpillar into. The rest has been a happy story. It's been phenomenal.
Gus, great phone call. Appreciate it very much. How about we jump back into him and talk to John? He's calling from Fountain Valley. John, thanks for hanging in there with us.
Hey, good morning, Tim, Rick. Listen, you guys eat a lot of fish, and I'm talking about how you prepare it on the boat. How about once it's in your freezer, it's frozen, and now you're going to cook it? Where do you take it from freezer to table? How do you cook it? How do you serve it? You guys eat a lot of fish. I'm just curious.
Great question.
Yeah, it is. Ricky, you're up. I'm not much of a chef. I'm pretty simple. I think that watching Drew over the years, Drew Rivera, the chef on the boat, he has an amazing way of keeping things simple but producing this gourmet quality. And to me, it's just a matter of getting it on thawing it properly. That's really important. I think as far as that tuna goes, you don't want to, if you can help it, you don't want to pull the package out and thaw it out or try to thaw it out in 15 minutes in hot water. You want to let that thing thaw in the refrigerator for a long time or at room temperature. I think that'll play big into higher quality end product, but keep it simple.
Sean turned us on to a method of defrosting that fish that makes the world of difference. So you pull it out of the freezer, immediately cut the bag open, and pull that piece of fish out of the bag, and wrap it with multiple layers of paper towels, like 4 or 5 layers of it, and then shove it back in the bag or just put it in another Ziploc and put it in the fridge, and you're going to eat it the next day. And as it continues to defrost, for lack of a better words, the water and the fishy, juice, it gets absorbed. That paper towel wicks it away. It pulls it out of the fish. And when that thing is fully defrosted, and you obviously discard the paper towel afterwards, the difference between that piece that is defrosted or thawed out versus a piece that you just left in the bag to sit there, it is a world of difference. And at that point, you treat it just like you would any fish. If I'm going from the freezer with a piece of tuna, again, I'm a pretty lame guy when it comes to kitchen, so blackening is like the easiest thing to do that produces some cool killer. You want to, making a cool dinner for Brittany kind of thing. Like, that's one of the things I can do that's crazy easy out of the fridge. You just throw the blackening, season it, fire it in a pan, and wait till it's charred up, and you have this killer-looking seared piece of tuna that's got a nice crust that's really easy to do. So that's my favorite from a piece from the freezer. John, again, great phone call. Appreciate that very much. Hey, when we come back, we're going to find out what lucky guy out there has got himself a brand new pair of Maui Jim sunglasses. More Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
Get it all at Dana Landing in Mission Bay. It's truly the one-stop shop for a great day on the water. Looking for a fishing charter? Dana Landing had you covered with several boats, including the new Blackjack, perfect for 2 to 4 anglers, and the Impulse that will carry up to 6 anglers in comfort and style. Dana Landing has a huge tackle shop with everything you need to go fish bay bass, tuna, or marlin, plus expert anglers on staff to help. They even have Mexican and California fishing licenses and reel repair. The deli at Dana Landing is a local's favorite with all the food, ice, and beverages you need. When it comes to freshwater tackle, East County Bait and Tackle is the spot for a great day on the lake. The ultimate in rods and reels, the latest freshwater lures, and live bait. ECBT has a staff second to none when it comes to sharing their passion for fishing. ECBT is at the end of the 67 freeway on Mapleview in Lakeside, and Dana Landing is right across from SeaWorld next to the Dana Launch Ramp in Mission Bay. Check DanaLanding.com for more details.
Imagine being home in the morning and fishing yellowtail and calicos at Cedros Island by the afternoon. Now you can with Cedros Adventures. Experience world-class yellowtail and calico fishing aboard comfortable pangas with local captains that know the island hotspots. Stay in Cedros Adventures' own private waterfront hotel and experience first-class meals and service with pickups in L.A., Orange, or San Diego County. You hop aboard a scheduled flight to Cedros Island to begin an incredible experience. Trips are all inclusive and offer old world hospitality and fantastic fishing. Cedros Adventures. Call 310-435-6353 or check cedrosadventures.com for rates and more information. It's big, it's comfortable, and she is beautiful. The state-of-the-art long-range sport fishing vessel, the Independence. Veteran captains Mark Paisano and Paul Strasser built this incredible 112-foot vessel with the most modern technology and luxurious comfort available. Captain Jeff DuBois has helped make the Independence a top-notch operation. Call Independence Sport Fishing at 619-226-6006 or check the availability on spring, summer, and fall trips now at independencesportfishing.com.
For East Cape Fishing, Jen Wren is known as the best. This is Mark Rayer. Great service, top quality equipment, including all accurate reels, CalStar rods, and Cimarron electronics, has put my immaculately maintained twin-engine cruisers in a class of their own. For memories of a lifetime, just bring your hat and sunglasses, and we'll provide a fishing experience that will exceed your expectations. Our calendar's filling fast, so don't miss out. For packages, 2 live webcams, a weekly fishery report, and more, check out TeamJenWren.com. We pick up at all East Cape resorts, so let's go fishing.
XEPRS 1090 AM, Rosarito, Baja California.
You're listening to the home of the Padres.
Oh, rush!
San Diego's sports leader, the Mighty 1090.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. All right, the big winner of a brand new pair of Maui Jim Surf Rider sunglasses is going to John in Fountain Valley. John, congratulations. I can promise you, you are going to love those pairs of Maui Jims. Tim, can't begin to thank you enough. It always bums me out that 2 hours goes by so fast. I enjoy it so much when you're on the show. I love talking fishing with you and so much stuff that we didn't cover. But, man, you got me so fired up to go long-range fishing on that boat of yours. Can't wait.
I feel the same way. I have so much fun on the show with both you and Pete. And I could sit here and talk fishing with anglers and you all day long.
That's fun.
And I look forward to the next time, of course. I look even more forward to getting out in the water and doing some fishing. We got another 2 weeks of maintenance. We were back up and running on April 16th. As a matter of fact, on the Let's Talk Hookup Fly Down Fly Back, and we had 2 spots open up on that trip. So if anybody's interested in jumping on Fly Down Fly Back, 11 days Cabo to Cabo, 17 total from San Diego to San Diego, give us a jingle in the office. Tracy's in there and available, 619-224-4764. If you need somebody to talk you into it, both Brian and I, as well as Randy, we're all home here doing maintenance on the boat for the next couple of weeks, so we'd be happy to
Don't call one of you guys if you're not ready to go, because you'll be signing up afterward. That's
exactly
for sure.
right. We'd be happy to twist your arm. Also, we have a few spots open on trips over the course of summer. Take a look at our website, royalstarsportfishing.com, and look on the schedule part of it. There's a few of those 4 days in July, the new ones that we added that have a few spots on them. There's a spot here or there, so give us a jingle. Even a trip, if it says it's full, give us a jingle anyway. Tracy has a way of working magic. She can get you on a trip, more often than not, if it says it's full. So give her a jingle and follow along. Once we get back up and running, those reports and photos will be coming in on the website. Again, royalstarsportfishing.com. Looking forward to getting her back up and running.
Can't wait, man. Can't wait for everything. Can't wait for the new Liberty coming in June. Great job, Tim. Thank you for everything. Sure appreciate it. We look forward to hearing more about the boat with the updates that you always do for us on Let's Talk Hookup, and we love hearing about it.
There you go. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Have a good
Tim.
day.
Hey, we appreciate you listening today, too. Another great show coming for you tomorrow. Captains Mark Paisano and Paul Strasser from the Independents are going to be joining us. Lots of great stuff coming your way. Appreciate that. We'll look forward to hearing you tomorrow on Let's Talk Hookup, 7 to 9 a.m. on the mighty 1090.
Get the steelhead run.